Alright, the Isle of Man tournament is finally over, and I want to show you a game from the last round between GM Wagner with the white pieces and GM Ivan Sokolov with the black pieces. For those of you who do not know, Ivan Sokolov was one of the commentators at the Georgia Tbilisi chess tournament that took place a few weeks ago. And toward the later rounds, he appeared on the broadcast with some type of eye injury, as if he had gotten into a fight or something. And never knew the story behind that. But I just said that little story because then you might know who GM Ivan Sokolov is. So a very strong grandmaster with the black pieces here. I'm showing you this game because it featured an ending that we rarely experience it in our chess career, and we hardly ever see it at GM level. So I'm going to move quickly through the moves with light commentary. So here, GM Wagner is white, Sokolov black, and the dangerous Queen's Gambit, declined exchange variation. So white resolves the center right away. And of course, this bishop is free to come out, and it's not that easy. If it were that easy, this variation would not be played as much, but it's a very popular variation. Simple but dangerous. Bishop g5, and let me just briefly say white has several plans here. The most common plan is the rook b1 and b4, b5, exchanging here, and basically transferring the base of the pawn chain from b7 to c6. And then as you can see here, the c6 pawn is weak, and white takes advantage of this weakness by piling up the pieces on the c file, and also moves like knight a4 and piling up on the c5 square, all pressurizing these pawns in hope to compromise black's position further, which will lead to win of more material. So several of white's plans involve some type of attack directly on the queen side. Another plan for white is to play f3 and e3, and eventually try to play in the center with e4. His bishop will go to d3, knight to e2, and he will castle on the king side usually. Sometimes you see this plan in combination with the queen side expansion plan. And the third plan that white uses is white will sometimes play aggressively on the king side, with f3 and e3, but he will castle long and then try to attack on the queen side. So you see all these different plans from white, and of course black has many different defenses that he tries. He tries for, sometimes he'll take on an isolated pawn, play c5 early, moves like knight a6, designed to play against the setup of queen c2 and bishop d3, because knight a6 then threatens to come here. There's many different formations, but let's get into it. So exchange variation c6, e3, and Sokolov clarifies the situation immediately before white can even decide to move the queen here first or bishop here first. Bishop drops back, and bishop f4. This is a variation that was played by Nigel Short. It's a very provocative variation because it's challenging and even daring white to double the pawns over here. After the move queen f3, the bishop is attacked. Bishop goes to g6, and now black's pawns will be doubled here. White's argument is that he's going into this endgame, and even though his pawns are somewhat compromised over here, that he has the bishop pair as compensation. Okay, now white will try to neutralize this bishop pair various ways and keep his pristine pawn structure. This is basically white's advantage. So it's basically this versus black's bishop pair. And we're going to see play revolve around this for the rest of the game pretty much. So knight f3, knight d7, and now immediate knight h4. Now white is not trying to just regain the bishop pair, to take this bishop on g6 and just straighten out black's pawns. That's not the issue. What GM Wagner wants to do is play the move f4 and f5 and neutralize the bishop, just block him out of the game. And if he can do that, then white's advantage of the two bishops doesn't mean anything, and he just has a bad pawn structure. So queenside castling, and there it is, f4. And now it is f5. Rook e8 with this threat here, and now simply f5. Of course, if rook takes here now, then king f2, and then both pieces will be attacked. So bishop h7. Now black has to be very careful that this situation doesn't become a long-term issue. So here's the clash of ideas in the position. White has decided that he's going to play g4 and h3 and basically keep this out of the game, and black is going to try to break this down. Alright, so king f2, h5. This prevents white from playing g4 and supporting this pawn. Bishop d3. Again, notice how everything is with the plan. Attack against e3. Rook e1. And now knight b6. And now we're going to see a transfer of this knight here. Rook e2. King b8. And now knight f3. So the knight has fulfilled its duty. So now the knight comes back. Okay. And white is now preparing h3 and g4. Now, of course, h4 is not playable because the knight will just take it. There's a knight maneuver, knight c8. And the knight wants to come here again to put more pressure on this pawn. Again, it's all about this plan in the position. White's trying to neutralize the bishops and keep them locked here, and black is trying to set them free. Rook g8, again stopping the g4 advance. g4 anyway. Why is that? Because this bishop is hanging here on h6. That's why I say always be observant of unprotected pieces. So for example, now if h takes g4, then the rook cannot capture right away because of the bishop. So the bishop would have to say go to f8 or something like that, and then white has time to protect. Okay. Knight d6. The rook drops back down. Bishop f8. And now white is just in time to protect. Rook g7. And now knight e2. And now things are getting critical for black because white has been able to establish his blockade of the bishop. Okay, these pawns are really giving black a hard time now. And these knights had the idea of coming in these dark squares and attacking this pawn. Bishop g8. Knight g3. We see attack right here. Rook g h7. And already Sokolov is in trouble here. Knight e1. Knight takes h5 is perfectly playable here with this attack here. Perhaps rook takes h5, g takes h5 is playable, but there's no way that black has enough compensation for the exchange. So I'm not sure exactly why he didn't just take this pawn. Okay, so knight e1 was played, rook g7, king f3, again, knight takes is playable, rook g7, again, knight takes is playable, knight e8, and I'm not going to keep saying that knight takes is playable. He doesn't want to take the pawn, but he wants to keep keep black squirming it in the position. And doesn't want to give black any counterplay. That's what this is about. But tactically, he can't take the pawn, and I think it's a good move. Knight g7, rook e1, and now he pushes in the center. And notice how all of the pieces are just bottled up behind these bad pawns here. So finally, Sokolov trades off the rooks. But his problems have just begun because, again, how do you get this guy out? So the white strategy has been a success, and he's basically playing up a piece here. So we're just going to go through these moves quickly. A lot of maneuvering is done just to get to the ending. And of course, this bishop only can move back and forth. It's trading off pieces. Again, like I said, white is effectively up a piece here. And Sokolov is trying to defend. Trade off the pawns. But now, the location of the king's obvious to us here. And we can see that white can just easily win these pawns. So the game is won now for white. He takes one pawn. And Sokolov just simply sacrifices the bishop. Because to move the bishop back, I mean, then it's just going to be knight takes anyway. So Sokolov figures his best hope is to sacrifice his dark square bishop. And now you have this rare ending. Do you know how to do this checkmate? So bishop and knight versus king. And not to get into great detail, but the first thing is rule of this ending is to drive the weak king to the corner of the board. And it doesn't matter which corner. It could be any corner. Just get him to a corner. And you can see that is what's going on here. Notice how he can't escape here. And now the black king is in the corner. Now, once you get him in the corner, the idea is to drive him to the corner of the same color as your bishop. And that's how you can deliver checkmate. So Sokolov is basically testing out Wagner here to see if he can do it. And as you can see, the bishop takes away, along with the king, squares away from the black king, so he can't go back. So he only can basically march toward his own fate. Goes back, check. And now the king over. And notice now these squares are guarded. So he only can go forward. And the same pattern will continuously repeat itself. Notice how the knight is guarding that square. All these squares are guarded, so the king is forced over. And here Sokolov resigned instead of getting checkmated. He could have went back, but then you would have had the same pattern over, over and over with the check coming forward and then king over all the way until the king was pushed into the corner, and then it would have been a checkmate. So I hope you found that game pretty interesting, as well as the opening. Um, so that is pretty much it, and I'll catch you later.